Let your first huge breath here on the ground just inflate your whole body. Huge inhale. And long, relaxed exhale. And start to pay attention for a moment to how it feels for the air to pass through the throat. Sometimes it's really useful to take on a yogic breath called Ujjayi breath, which just means a light constriction of the throat the whole time, kind of like you're making the sound of an ocean wave. Sometimes that's what helps me feel that light friction so that I can experience the sensation of air passing through my throat. So helpful to help clear it out. But really feel a couple of breaths passing in and out of the throat area. Maybe it's a different sensation coming in than going. Just notice it. Good. And as we continue these good deep breaths, we start to connect with our intention for today, which is the idea of my gratitude for truth. This month I'm giving all sorts of gratitudes on different days, and today I was considering truth and how grateful I am for it. Now, truth is an interesting one because it is relative to the person. For instance, history is taught from the perspective of the winners. And so we don't always get the perspective of every side and what everybody was fighting for or striving for or whatever it is. And so truth is kind of an interesting one. It is super relative. And so the ways that I'd like to touch on truth today are going to be symbolized by this next thing I'm going to have us do with our hands. So what I'd like us to do is take hands into prayer position and first place the thumbs at the forehead area. This is almost like a wish outward, asking ourselves to be able to see the truth more clearly, not just the convenient truth, but seeing truth as it is. And then move your thumbs down to the mouth, asking ourselves to be able to communicate the highest truth to ourselves and to others, to ourselves with our thoughts, remembering kind thoughts, and to others, remembering these next things that we'll go through here as we bump our thumbs down to the heart. So as we're communicating outward, we remember the 3 gates that the words can pass through, and those are through the heart. So first, passing through truth. Is it true? Passing through necessity. Is it necessary that I say this? And passing through the compassion. Is it kind for me to say this? Passing through those gates and recognizing that for me, the highest truth that I come across is when both the mind and the heart agree. The heart lifts us up to the higher vibration. So there could be low vibrational truths, but listening to this heart lifting us up to a higher, better way of living. And so with these ideas of truth to help lead us on, let's begin our little class together. Let's start to take the knees into the chest. Just rock around for a moment. Listen to low back, listen to hips. It's a very kind thing to do for our body here. You'll notice a big part of our class will be focused on neck and throat, trying to get that open because that symbolizes our communication. Mm-hmm. So as we take this next movement, what I want us to do is let the head also be part of this. So with the hands on the knees, stretch the right arm and right leg away from one another, but also let the head tilt to the left. That's our huge slow inhale. With our exhale, return back and head is in the middle. Next exhale, the next inhale, left arm and leg stretch. When the exhale happens, return it back to the center. Inhale to stretch. Exhale to return. Go at whatever pace your breath is flowing. Imagining that pace is your body's truth right now. Making sure to remember the head part. Let's take one more to each side. Huge stretch. And return. One more. Good. So now with the knees in the chest, let the arms fall open to left and right. Let the knees fall over to left. So from this, we are allowing the lower body to gradually relax into this. But let's also help to loosen up our neck a little bit more. So what I want us to do is allow ourselves to gaze to the left and gaze to the right. Do it twice more to each direction. And at that last one, keep the gaze over the right fingers, feeling how that opens up the neck just a little bit by helping to twist that part of the spine. Good. Let the knees lift up. The knees fall over to the right. And then let's do those 3 neck things again. Gaze to the right and the left. Twice more each. On that third one, stay with the gaze over left. The knees lift back up. Drop the feet. First, they're close to the glutes, just an easy position. The hands clasped together. The clasp of the hands picks up the back of the head. So the head is heavy. On itself, it would just fall back. But with the arm strength, we're lifting chin to chest and experiencing that nice stretch on the muscles on the back of the neck. Relax into that for a few moments. Sometimes here, I'll even help my head rock just a little bit. All I do is let one elbow pull forward a couple of inches, and that naturally will tilt my head. And then I'll take the second side if that feels good. Good. So then resting the head back down. Let it release. Slide the legs long. Arms reach up overhead. We're going to take our banana stretch, including the neck. So let the right ankle cross over the left and scoot the legs off to the left side of the mat. Up above head, grab the right wrist and pull it to left. And even left ear goes to left shoulder. So feel that whole right half of the body stretching open. With our gentle release, return briefly back onto the middle of the mat. And then second side, left ankle over, scoot legs to right. Grab left wrist, scoot shoulders to right, and right ear also goes to right shoulder. Another breath in and out. Uncross. Return onto the mat. And then from here, leaving left leg on ground, start to stretch right leg up to sky. Clasp wherever you can comfortably reach, thigh, calf, whatever you can reach. And try to let this leg reach up to sky. Also actively try to pull it in. Giving the backside of the leg a couple of breaths here. Like still sending deep breaths all over the body. Imagine it's a breath of truth. It's helping to attune the cells of our body to a higher type of truth. So now, anchor the right hand on this right leg and let the right leg open out to right. As I'm opening, it's not just going wide, I'm also using the arm strength to try to pull the toes to the wall behind the head. So it's also kind of that lifting action. So another good breath right here. And then when the leg rises back up, let it cross halfway over the body. It's the point where the hip is just barely starting to lift off the ground. That gets us into the outer hip, outer thigh. So give that spot a couple of breaths. Beautiful. When we start to release our hands, let that right leg drop down to ground. And then left leg can work up to sky. Same stretch, finding length there. Grab on wherever you can reach. Let this leg open out. Also remember that tug, toes getting closer to the wall behind your head. Good. When leg rises back up, tilt it about halfway across the body, the point where the hip is starting to lift off the ground. IT band opener. Another huge breath in and out. And then let this leg drop all the way down to ground. We're going to take a fish pose. What I want us to do to really make sure the throat is set up very open is to get yourself kind of in a crunch propped up position, elbows behind us. Palms go face down. You can leave them where they are or scoot them a little bit closer to be under your glutes. Elbows are squeezing as close as they can behind you. And then from here, as you arch the heart up, rock the head back. Sometimes crown of head touches the ground here, but it's more about how much can you arch heart up. So try to feel that good kind of lifting. Feel the throat especially expand open. Like teaching that throat how to have more truth. So one more breath. The air passing all the way in and out. Then softly lift the chin up, rise up. We'll slide our feet into cobbler's pose. And to help ease our back and our hips into cobbler's pose, 5 times we're going to take lion's breath. So when we dip forward to any amount, we'll take our inhale. With our exhale, we lift the spine back up, arch heart forward, and stick out the tongue, letting the air out. Good, let's do 5 more of those. Clearing out throat and mouth. One more. And then just let the head dip down. Easy cobbler's pose. When the spine lifts back up, let's slide the hands behind us. Prop the heart forward and lift the throat back up. You'll notice if you kind of squeeze the shoulders together behind you, that gets a little pillow for your head to rest on. So feel that throat expanding back up with the heart reaching. Good, head eases up carefully. Legs straighten out in front of you. They can be together, they can be a little wider, they can be slightly bent, whatever feels good. Let's do 5 more of those lion's breaths. So an easy dip down, whatever degree. Inhale, exhale, let it go. Take one more. Just release the spine down. If there's neck tightness, start to let the head rock a little bit to the right. A little bit to the left. Taking it at a pace that feels good, just easing those neck muscles. When we lift the spine back up, again, we'll place hands behind us. This time, point the fingers toward you, so that way you also get a wrist stretch. Walk your hands as far back as the wrists are happy with. And then take the same thing. Heart goes forward, shoulders squeeze together so that the neck can rest back and throat. One more huge breath, let it flow in. And out. Ease yourself back up and forward. And then take both legs and tuck them to your right side. So just note that you're backwards, so you'll do the opposite of what I'm saying. There you go. Your other, right? Okay, so right hand at the right ankle. Left hand is going to reach up and over, and you're purposely dropping your right ear to your right shoulder. Now leave the head dipping down like this as the left hand slowly works its way to hover above the ground. There will be a point where you feel that left shoulder getting pulled nicely. It's also opening up that left part of the neck. So just pause there for a couple of bonus breaths. And ease the neck up softly. And we'll switch sides. Swing the legs over to the left. Left hand grabs onto that left ankle, right hand reaches up and over. And remember to drop the left ear to left shoulder. Now let that right arm slowly return to hover above ground, pausing at that point where it's folding shoulder and neck nicely. Beautiful. Easing back up with the head. Let's come forward onto hands and knees. And I'll take a couple of our cat-cows. Especially pay attention to the throat. See how much you can curl the chin in for the cat. And see how much you can open the throat through the cow. Nice exhale. And inhale. Take 3 more. 2. 1. Beautiful. So knees either stay in the same spot or go just a little bit wider, your preference. Walk your hands forward so that you can dip the hips forward into a cobra position. And then alternate that with a child pose position. Take 4 more back and forth like that. Pull the throat open in the cobra. And the chin tucks for the child. Taking another 3. 2. And 1. And ultimately here, coming up to a high kneeling position, we'll take either our camel pose or just the camel pose prep. So hands come to the back sides of hips just to keep that low back safe. I'll usually tuck my toes if I think I'm gonna head back. Hips keep on pushing forward, heart rises up and throat rises up. So perfectly fine just to stay here. If anybody wants to drop hands to heels for the full camel, you're welcome to. You don't have to, because we can really feel this throat opening. So take 2 more breaths. And as we ease back out, let the forehead rest down onto ground. It's like we're touching back into seeing things more clearly. The more clearly we can see, the broader the perspective we have, the greater the likelihood is that we'll connect with a truth that is more universal. It's kind of like that book where you keep on zooming out and out and out. And it's like, oh, well, what I thought was the truth actually is only a very small part of the picture. And we'll take it from here into a rabbit pose. Forehead stays on the ground for a moment as hands slide around to grab the heels. And then the last step is rocking to the crown of the head. This arches us into a back of the neck stretch and upper back stretch. So take 2 more breaths right there. And sitting the heels back to child, maybe the arms swing forward. You can stay in this child or go to down dog at any point that you wish, your choice. That down dog, invite your body to greater opening. I'll often do little wiggles, especially for that first one. Knees wiggling, feet wiggling, hips wiggling. See if the neck is cranking up with tension or if it's dropping down comfortably. You can stay here as long as it still feels useful. At some point, you may feel ready to come up to top of mat, forward fold. So making it up there when you're ready. And once again, when you get there, just let the head drop heavy. You could shake it yes, shake it no. With our next inhale, circle arms clear up to sky. Hands in prayer position. Briefly touch the forehead. Seeing truth more clearly. Touching lips. Speaking truth more clearly. Touching heart. Feeling truth more clearly. Especially through those gates of necessity and kindness. Good. Taking a tree pose, shift your weight over into your left foot. Your right knee rotates open. Climb up to the point where it's true for your body today. Sometimes we force it higher than we really should on a given day, so just find that perfect spot for your system today. Option, if it doesn't throw your balance off, to clasp hands behind the back. And as hands are clasped, allow shoulders to roll back. You'll note if your chin was naturally tucked in, open it back up to a nice, just neutral neck. Good, one more inhale. Exhale, soft release. Standing on right foot, let the left rotate open. Find your true type of tree pose today, whatever that position is, even on the ground, it's fine. Only if balance isn't too bad, maybe hands clasped behind, rotating shoulders back, throat open in front of us. Huge breath in. Nice exhale. Release hands and foot. Circle arms up to sky. Grab the left wrist, pull it to the right. And rising up, grab right wrist, pull it to the left. Good, rising back up, arms by the ears. Sit the hips back, fierce pose. And then drop hands on the thighs. And let's take 3 more lion's breath. So round in to inhale. Exhale, stick it out, let it go. 2. 1. Good. Neutral spine, legs straightening. And then continue to slide the hands down to a comfortable level. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fingers down. Slide the feet back to plank or kneeling plank, your preference. Let's do 3 push-ups. The best that we can, whatever our truth is. Pressing down and up. 2. And 1. And then your truth. Does the body feel better in cobra or sphinx pose right now? Either way, take a gentle back bend. And for this one, 3 times, let's go back and forth between tucking the chin in and then lifting the chin up to expose the throat. 2 more. One. Just Pause, chin down to chest, 2 more breaths, just let that head release. Shift back, child pose. Stay here or downward facing dog when you feel ready. From the down dog, make sure you're not cranking the head up. Try to drop the weight of the head down. Float the right leg up to sky. Step the right foot in between hands. We're finding a balance, staying on the back toes. So if you need to scoot the stance a little wider to help your balance, that's fine. When you have decent balance, float the arms by the hips, helping you test out that balance. And then torso up, arms up to sky. And from here, hands clasped behind your back. As you pull the shoulders open and back, bend both knees a little bit deeper and try to hold with the strength of the legs. Good. Now pivot on your toes to face that left long edge of the mat and bow down. Wide angle forward fold. At any point that you'd like to, you can release the hand clasps, dropping them down. And softening the knees, roll the spine up. Good. From being up, turn your right toes forward, bending that right knee, warrior 2. And from warrior 2, extended side angle. Front elbow drops down to front thigh. Let this top arm stretch forward to mirror for a moment, creating good space. And then as long as this doesn't negatively affect balance, try to take that left hand to the low back. Even walking that hand in between shoulder blades as high as possible. And here we're not trying to just round the spine down. We're trying to keep that shoulder pulling open. Maybe even the gaze can rotate up to the sky. So feel that shoulder open for a moment. Keep that left hand where it is on your back as the torso rises back up. Sweep this right hand by the ear. Front knee stays bent as we lean backwards. And either stay here with that straight arm or take that right hand to the back of the neck, trying to get the hands to clasp or just grab for 2 points on the shirt. As that top elbow continues to trace up and back, you'll feel that shoulder, that tricep area stretch. Good. As the torso rises up, open arms, easy warrior 2. And cartwheel hands all the way down to the ground. As we slide that front foot back, we're in plank or kneeling plank. Let's try to go for 3 more push-ups. Inhale to lower. Exhale to press back up the best you can. Listen to your truth for the distance. 2. 1. Good. Sphinx or Cobra. Listen to your truth for that back bend. This time, let yourself gaze over right shoulder and left. Twice more each. Good. After the last one, child pose or down dog, listening to your truth right now. Floating left leg up to sky. Step that foot in between hands. Try to keep the back heel floating. Wider stance if you need the support. When balance is there, float arms by the hips briefly. And then up to sky, torso rises. Clasping hands behind the back, feel the shoulders pull open. Both knees try to bend a little deeper, holding ourselves with strength there. Good, rotate open, wide angle forward fold. Keep the hands clasped for at least a couple of breaths. And then as we release the clasp behind our back, there might be an option that might feel good for some of us. Clasping hands together and then placing the pinky fingers at the point where the neck meets the base of skull so that it helps to drop the head in just a little bit more. Release everything, roll the spine back up. Left toes turn forward, bending that knee, open the arms, warrior two. Extended side angle. This top arm first stretches to mirror. And then that right hand comes to the low back, or even inches its way up to the spot in between shoulder blades. Remember, we're not kind of rounding down. Instead, pull the shoulder open and back, maybe even gaze up. Keep that right hand where it is. Torso rises, left hand comes up by the ear. Lean that arm backwards. Option to try to go for the finger clasp, the bind, or just grab 2 points on the shirt. And keep that top elbow pointing up and pulling back. Good, open everything back out, soft warrior two. And cartwheel the hands down to ground. Last time, sliding back, plank or kneeling plank. 3 push-ups. And then Sphinx or Cobra briefly. This time, right into child pose or down dog, your practice. Some point we'll take it from down dog back to a forward fold at the top of the mat one more time. So you can go there right away, or you can stay just a little bit longer. I'll leave it up to you. Okay, let's use our next inhale to rise. Hands in that prayer position. Briefly touch the forehead, seeing truth more clearly. The mouth, speaking the truth more clearly. The heart, feeling the truth more clearly. From here, eyes open. One more time, tree pose, shifting weight to left. The right foot rotates open. Find your true type of tree pose today. Maybe that clasp behind back if that felt good, opening shoulders. And with the hands releasing, cross this right foot in front of the left, pinky toes are close-ish, and then roll down. That should take the back leg into an IT band stretch. So breathe through that spot for a couple of moments. Rolling the spine back up. This front foot, that leg, I want it to go straight. So for my body, I have to slide it a little bit more forward and place it on the side of the foot for it to comfortably be straight with my balance. So place it in a nice straight place, and then up above head, grab onto right wrist and pull that right wrist to the left. So it's like the huge banana stretch. This time we're standing. Good. First, the upper body releases, and then uncross the lower body, standing on right foot. Let the left leg rotate open. Find your true tree. Maybe clasp behind back to rotate shoulders open. Make sure the throat isn't just kind of hunching forward like we do a lot. Opening and content. As the hands release, cross that left leg in front of the right. Roll our way down. IT band stretch. Rolling the spine back up. Slide the foot perhaps forward, placing the side of the foot down to that point where the leg is straight. Circle the arms up overhead. Grab left wrist and pull it to the right, creating that standing banana shape. Good. Upper body releases and then lower. Beautiful. So from here, I want us to go into a frog pose. This is one of those poses that's a little more intense. And so it begs us to ask ourselves, where is my true spot today? So I'm not pushing it too far. I'm still in a comfortable spot. I tend to like folding the two edges of my mat in, so I've got an extra layer to pad my inner knees. So if you'd like to fold it in, that's fine. You can face any direction. And then eventually your inner knee will be set down. Usually people lower to elbows for frog. Make sure hips stay in line with the knees. It's that deepest, tightest spot. So we're not going forward like a sphinx. We're not going backward like a child. It's right there in the high spot in the middle.
Want a little sway back or no?
It's okay to be a little bit dipped down with your heart. So Allie, take your hips back. Back, back, back. A little bit more. Yeah, that's the spot right there, right above knees. So listen to your body. Some of us might reach the point sooner than others where you have to get out of it. So if that's you, eventually you'll point the toes close together and head back slowly to child pose. But if you can maintain this, being true to yourself for about 3 more breaths, slowly let it flow in and out. 2. And 1. Toes start to slide close, and then use your elbows to slowly inch you back to a really wide knee child pose. Maybe the hands stack to give you something to set your forehead down onto. And then as we start to rise up, let's open the mats back out. And we'll shift into a pigeon pose with the left knee forward, right leg back. Dropping down to elbows when you get to a comfortable spot. And really be true with your body about the pigeon pose. Sometimes I see people forcing their foot way too far forward to the point where they're literally hurting their knee. So keep it tucked to the point where the knee is still happy, but hips are getting that chance to open. Just a couple more breaths right here. Take a moment to plant the hands. Lift the throat up, a slight back bend. And rocking our weight onto left hip. Swing the legs open to a wide angle, forward fold. It's okay to face toward the front door. Coming back up, either face back of mat or just switch the legs and left leg forward. Right leg, this one's right leg forward, left leg back. So second side. Dropping down to that sleeping pigeon. Walking hands into a slight back bend, especially let that throat have a chance to open. Let's take it again to a wide angle forward fold. Slide the hands through. Walking in, we can face the side or face forward. Either come to cross leg right in front or shin stack right on top. And from here, let's take the right hand up to back of neck, left hand up to the low back area. Maybe the hands clasp, maybe not, it's all good. And let yourself keep that open throat. You can either stay here for a little bit longer. You could tilt forward, keeping the clasp, that's pretty intense. Or you can release the arms at any point and relax the spine forward. Easing back up one more side. Left leg crosses in front or stacks on top. This time the left arm comes up, right hand goes under. Try to ease it as close as it can. Maybe just grabbing shirt if you're not quite making the connection of fingers. Make sure when you're set up, sooner or later, throat is opening. And then you can stay here, you can tilt forward, or at any point you can release the arms there. work. So as we release up, this is our chance to either go straight to Shavasana or take any last stretches our body wants before it. Listen to the body, tune into it. No pressure and no rush. If you're doing poses for a while, as there might be some people wanting to just go straight to Shavasana, let's take one last time to bring hands in prayer position, briefly touching the 3 points to remind yourself, seeing the truth, speaking the truth, feeling the truth at your own rate. Like I said, never a rush for Shavasana, but when you're there, arms open, just feel that beautiful sensation of air passing through the throat, helping it to continue to stay open after all the work we've done. Beginning to deepen inhales and exhales. Introducing little movements back to the body. Stretching out in ways that feel really good. Perhaps eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Doing a few bonus breaths here. Maybe 3 or 4 good cycles until you feel ready to rise sooner or later. So in rising up, let's take a huge inhale, joining hands together in prayer position. And start to place the thumbs one last time at the forehead, reminding ourselves to see more clearly, not just the convenient truth, but the bigger, broader, zoomed out truth. Thumbs to the lips, reminding us to speak more clearly to ourselves, more truthfully, and more truthfully to others. And hands down to the heart, remembering those words that we speak are passed through the 3 gates. Is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? In this heart-brain connection, we're able to find a deeper connection to truth, higher types of truth. And so with all this to help lead us on, let's wrap up the time we shared together with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. Om. May we be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.